Ciao, welcome to Beatspot. I'm Marco, and in this video I want to talk about free plugins by Spectral Plugins, and these are Pancz, Spacer and OCS 45. So let's start with Pancz. I was actually looking for a multi-band clipper, and because I'm good with the standard clip one, but I was missing the kind of multi-band aspect, and this plugin is great. So Pancz is a multi-band transient shaper, clipper, whatever. It has a lot of stuff and it's really interesting. So this is the interface, and here we have the threshold, and here down we have the bands, and we can use up to 3 bands and enable them, disable them, solo them, whatever, and we can use it in both multi and single mode. We have the threshold for each band. We'll also have a soft clip or limit choice. Then we have this New York compression, so parallel compression knob. We have the full mix. We also have this presence area, and each one of these bands is controlled by these 2 sliders. So if I click on the low end, we see that I didn't touch the transients, and I kind of cut the tail a bit. Then if we go to the mid range, I have these other kind of flat settings and some more transients in the high end. So now let's listen to how it sounds. So this is not really much at the moment because I want it to be conservative, but let's try pushing it a bit. So So as we can see, this is a really powerful tool, and it's among my new favorite plugins because I like it for shaping the kick drum, especially because clipping the kick drum entirely has some kind of problem with the low end. So if you clip the low end, you will end up with some low mid mud that's not really pleasant. It makes the kick drum sound boxy, and you have to later remove it with EQ or dynamic EQ, and it's not always kind of optimal. This way you can just target like the initial punch or even the initial transient and have that more snap without affecting the low end. So now let's move to the next plugin, which is OCS 45, and it is cassette simulator. So this is the plugin. It has quite some stuff going on, so let's kind of investigate the UI. So here we have the wow depth and the wow rate. So let's solo this sound. So the wow is this kind of large, this LFO, and then we have the flutter, which is a kind of faster modulation. And it's a sort of tremolo vibrato effect. Then we have the noise. We have 4 types of noise. Then we also have the on-off. Here we have 4 cassette types. So let's listen to them with parameters cranked up a bit. So we have different tones. For example, the fourth one has kind of less low end than the first, the second, and third one, and they have some sort of differences that you need to investigate while cranking up the sound and also in the actual context you are using it. Then let's go to the distortion module. So we have tube, diode, soft clip, saturation, and downsample, and we have three parameters: the drive, the tone, the dry wet. So we have everything we need to kind of bring some more mojo and some more kind of imperfections to the sound. Then let's go to the dropouts. And there are some kind of drops, some kind of like the tape is stopping. So then we also have the cassette settings. We have the mono. This is entirely mono. And here we have the stereo information. And with the quality all the way down, we have kind of fewer frequencies. Let's listen to them with different cassette types. Then we also have a general dry wet. Up here we have the input, the output gain, and the preset bank. It's quite rich. We have 85 presets, and I mean that's more than enough for getting the sound you want if you're after that cassette kind of sound. Now let's move to the last one, which is a spacer, and it's a reverb, delay, grain delay, stereo imager, and all that kind of stuff. So this is the interface. We have delay, reverb, we also have the grain reverb, we also have the convolution reverb, grain delay, and utilities. So we have kind of stereo, has time, the dimension size, presence, air, and saturation. So let's go one by one. So here you have this drum reverb bus, which I will crank up to 0 dB just for listening to it. So as for the delay, we have left, right, we have the link option, we have the spread, the feedback, the mix inside that single module, and we also have time and BPM settings. Then if we move to the reverb, we have the damp, the pre-delay, width, decay, size, and mix. Also, each modules come with a solo button, and we also have an EQ. So we have frequency, we have the Q, we have the type, and we also have the band. So this is controlling two, like a low pass and a high pass at the same time. And if we want to kind of disable it, we can just do this, and that's it. And now let's go to the grain reverb. So this is quite a delicate effect, and I suggest going for the presets, so you can have a kind of an idea what you want, scroll between them, kind of really quick. Now let's go to the convolution reverb. So that's convolution reverb, nothing less, nothing more. We have whole room synthetic user, and here we have all the impulse responses. We can set the decay, we can set the size, and we can set the mix. Now let's go to the grain delay. So that's really kind of weird behavior, and it's mostly for sound design, at least for what I believe. I think it's mostly for sound design and kind of glitchy transitions. Still a great addition to the plugin though. And then we have the utilities. So with the utilities we have the S-Mix. So that's basically it for this plugin. It's really great. And so as I said it for this bus, it was something like this, if I remember correctly. So it's just a really subtle and low level kind of sound that adds to the drum bus, and it worked great, and it's not really transforming the sound, but it's adding that little room that I wanted for the beat. So personally, I'm enjoying all the free plugins, but my ranking is Pancz on top, OCS at second place, and Spacer at the third place. And that's because Pancz is really unique, or at least it's doing something really niche and really well. And then we have OCS 45, which we have other plugins doing the same kind of thing, but this is plenty of options and it's really good. It's an alternative that comes at a very low price, at least at the moment of recording this video, and I really recommend it, because if you want that cassette sound, this is plenty of features. You don't have anything else to ask for, at least for my personal needs. And for Spacer, I understand that it's a huge ensemble, a huge group of effects, but I mean, you can find it mostly useful for sound design rather than for mixing, at least for how I'm perceiving it, because I mean, you just want some more space within all the effects for mixing, but having that chain of all those plugins might be useful for transitions, for bass sound design, especially for rhythm, for EDM, trap, and all that kind of metallic kind of sounding bass music. So that's it for this video. Hope you enjoyed it, and see you in the next one.